Anime breast tutorial. This time we're going to be looking at a large pair of breasts. So this would be on our mature character. We're going to draw in a shoulder line here and a center line. Then we're just going to sketch in our rib cage around that, like so. Drawing the base of it. Again, we just want our little shoulder circles just inside of the ribs here. Connect the pits here with a line. That'll help us plot out the chest. Then we're gonna give her kind of a wider waist because this is a mature character. Put that in like this. Then we want our arms like so. Follow around. Into this. There we go. Then we'll give her a neck up here, along with small traps. Some detail there. Alright, so from here, just gonna kind of shrink this part down a little bit. This character has much larger boobs than what we've done before, so this time hanging naturally, they are gonna slightly intersect here. So we're just going to follow this shape down. Round, like so. So we're still trying to keep the overall sort of little teardrop shapes. Like that. So you really want to follow that pit line, stick it out a little bit, like that. Because they're kind of naturally going to lay out away from you. So we want to capture that here. And just make sure this one isn't too perky. Still needs to kind of hang. There we go. And I'm just using lots and lots of little lines till I get like an overall shape that I like. So this time we will draw the same pose, but this time she's gonna have a bra on. So now we're gonna have a material sort of pushing the breasts up against each other and higher. It's giving a lot of support. So we're just doing the same exact thing we just did. Sketching in a very, very basic waist here. Nothing special. Shoulder lines. Neck. Traps. And some arms. So, this time, instead of just kind of hanging out to the side here, they're going to be pressed up and in. So they're going to definitely cross over each other, like so. And we're just really trying to keep them more rounded. Now, of course, if you wanted to have a character that is not wearing a super tight bra, then you could literally keep this same shape and follow like this, and that looks good as well. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but the only reason why I'm not doing it that way is just because I'm trying to show what happens when it's really being supported firmly by something. So we will connect our cups like this. Some straps, like so. Then, once we've done that, I'm just going to add some belly lines here. Once we've done that, now we will look at them, but hanging down. So, I'm going to draw in my little neck circle here, where the neck is being cut off. Near the base of the neck here, just going to plop in this little triangle shape. And then draw this in. So again, this little shape here, just kind of shaped like this into the shoulders. Just trying to plot that out. Put this roughly in our center line here. neck needs to just scooch over to the right a little bit so it's more centered. And then I just gotta bring this shoulder circle out a little bit, like that. Alright, so this time a pretty large chest, so we're gonna keep it on the inside here pretty even with like the collarbones here. But this time they are going to be overlapping each other. And we're still keeping that general shape of a water drop about to fall off of a flattened surface. And we want the main mass to be out away from us over in this area. And I'll just make sure it's the same size, or at least roughly the same size. Just trying to find a shape that I like. So then we can better blend these arms in, like that. Okay. So now we will do the line art, starting from the pit, following the shape up and around. And I'll give my waistline here. Followed by my shoulders and arms, and neck. Then we will quick put this one in, and we'll give everything a quick review before we're done. So I'm going to start with the actual bra cup, like this. And I'll attach these. Again, I'm not too concerned about my line art quality because I'm just doing a study. So I'm just trying to get the weight and shapes correct. Want the balance to be correct. Put that like that. Gonna get rid of this little line though so it matches that one a little bit more evenly. Then we can put in our arms. And now notice again the area of the boob that is just outside of the bra is kind of pudging out, right? It's not just one solid line right here, where it kind of just pudges out a little bit. Because if it was just one, circle shape like this, it wouldn't look right. Because the breast is very soft, so it's going to be spilling out over the edge just slightly. We'll put this in, so belly lines. There we go. Then our character leaning forward. Just basic neck shapes here. Basic collarbone shape. Into the shoulder area and the traps. Then I will add this, because this right here is your rib cage, so it's not really moving around. And then the chest is going to be hanging off of it. So just trying my best to trace out that shape that I got that I liked. There we go. And there we go. And we'll put in our arms. Alright, so for review, just this one that we're at right now. So she's got a big enough chest that this one, you just pick which one you want slightly overlapping the other one. So I just chose this one for no reason, but pick that one. It's going to be like a drop of water coming off of like a hard subject, or a hard object, right? The main mass is going to be right in here. So you want to be able to capture that it's coming in, out, back in. Okay, it's kind of an exaggerated version, but just try to sketch up and find a shape that you like, and then just go with that. For the supported version, again, you could just still do this completely like natural sort of hanging with the bra, and that is perfectly fine too. You would still just want to pop these out over the edge. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. It looks more natural that way, whereas this looks a little bit faker. But the reason behind me doing this is because I want to show you what the same chest looks like with an absolute ton of support, really pulling it straight up and pushing them way in. So it looks something like this. So all that mass has to go somewhere, so it's going to be spilling out to the sides and up. So they're going to be a lot more circular when they're being held up like this than they would be long. Whereas when they're naturally just hanging there, you're still keeping that sort of drop of water shape out to the side because there's nothing pushing them towards each other. So they're going to be pushing away from each other. And it would look something like that. So hopefully this tutorial was useful for you. And in part 2, we will look at an action pose, as well as looking at how the chest sort of wraps around objects, namely her arms pushing against them. So you'll kind of see how, what happens to the mass when it's got an object pressing against it. So hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next one.